In a quiet town by the edge of a wide river, there once lived an old clockmaker named Elias. His little shop stood between a bakery and a bookshop, and from dawn till dusk, the gentle tick-tock of clocks echoed softly through the narrow street. Everyone in the village knew him, not because he was rich, but because his clocks always told the most perfect time. Elias had spent his whole life repairing clocks. From tiny pocket watches to giant tower clocks, he gave each one the same care and patience. He lived alone, surrounded by the steady sound of ticking. His wife had passed away long ago, and his only son, Aaron, had gone to the city in search of success. Every morning, Elias would wind up each clock, polish the gears, and sit quietly at his wooden workbench. To him, time wasn't just what the clocks measured. It was life itself. Every second that passed carried a story, a memory, a chance that would never return. Meanwhile, far away in the bustling city, Aaron was living a very different life. He was ambitious, always chasing new opportunities, but never satisfied. Whenever things got hard, he told himself, "I'll do it later. I'll start tomorrow." Days became months. Months became years. He kept planning, but never acting. One morning, Aaron received a letter from his father. It read, "Son, time is slipping away. I'd like to see you before it's too late." He stared at the letter for a long while. Work was busy. Deadlines were close. "I'll visit soon," he said to himself. "Maybe next month." But that month never came. Back in the small village, Elias's health began to fade. Still, he worked every day, repairing clocks as if trying to hold time together with his trembling hands. Sometimes, he would glance at the empty chair beside him and imagine his son sitting there, learning, listening, smiling like he used to. One winter evening, as snow fell softly outside, a stranger entered the shop. His coat was wet and his eyes were heavy with sadness. "My pocket watch stopped," he said quietly. Elias smiled faintly and replied, "Every watch can be repaired, as long as you still care about time." He opened the watch carefully. Inside was an engraving, "To my son with love, Father." Elias looked up surprised. "This was your father's gift?" The man nodded. "Yes, he passed away last year. I thought there would always be time to visit him, but when I finally went home, it was too late." Elias was silent. The ticking of the clocks filled the quiet space. Then he said softly, "We all think there will be more time, more chances, but time is silent. It never waits. Every moment we waste becomes a memory we can never repair." That night, after the stranger left, Elias sat alone in his workshop. The moonlight shimmered across hundreds of ticking clocks. He wound each one gently, listening as they found their rhythm again. Tick, tock, tick, tock. Each sound reminded him of a heartbeat. He whispered to himself, "We repair clocks, but we cannot repair time." The next morning, the shop stayed closed. The little bell above the door never rang. When the villagers entered, they found Elias sitting peacefully at his bench, his tools beside him, his eyes gently closed. Every clock in the shop ticked in perfect harmony, as if keeping vigil for their maker. A few days later, a letter arrived from the city. It was from Aaron. "Father," it said, "I've been thinking a lot lately. I'll visit you soon, I promise." But it was too late. When Aaron finally returned to the village, he found the shop quiet and still. On his father's workbench lay an unfinished pocket watch, its golden gears shining under the morning light. Inside there was a note. "For my son, when you learn to value time, you will understand life." Tears filled his eyes. He held the watch tightly, listening to its soft ticking. For the first time in years, he truly heard it, not just as a sound, but as his father's voice, whispering through time. That night, he sat alone in the shop, surrounded by hundreds of clocks, and simply listened. From that day on, Aaron stayed in the village. He reopened the clock shop, continuing his father's work. Whenever a customer came in, he would smile and say, "Time cannot be stopped, but it can be honored. Take care of your time, and it will take care of you." Years passed. The small shop became a quiet refuge for people seeking peace. Many said they felt calmer just hearing the gentle ticking of the clocks. Aaron grew older, but the peace in his heart grew stronger. Sometimes he sat by the window at sunset, watching the river glow gold under the fading light. he would whisper, "Father, I finally understand." And when the clock struck 6, their sound seemed to carry through the village like a gentle reminder. That time waits for no one, and love, when delayed, becomes only an echo. In life, we all think we have more time. We delay dreams, postpone apologies, and wait for the right moment. But moments don't wait. They pass quietly, leaving only what we chose to do or not to do with them. Every second is a gift. Every minute is a chance to love, to grow, to begin. So before another day slips away, call the person you've been meaning to call. Start the work you've been avoiding. Forgive, begin, live, because time, once gone, never returns. The story of the Clockmaker reminds us that true success isn't measured by wealth, fame, or power, but by how we use the time we are given. Use it well, cherish it, and like the clocks in Elias's shop, let your life tick with purpose, love, and meaning. If this story touched your heart, take a moment, just one, to be grateful for the time you have right now. Because this moment is already slipping away.